Here's my final troubleshooting, and it's a failure. And after doing some reading, I understand what's going on. Anyway, I made 3 jumpers and jumped across where the switch would connect inside the plug that hooks into the ignition switch. Oh, before I did that, I pulled the main fuse. Okay, I plugged in the main fuse, and everything lights up like it, kind of like it did there yesterday when I shorted across the terminals with my needle nose pliers. And I've got an F1 error on the dashboard. So I did some reading. And I found that right there, focus camera, focus. Right there is the diagnostic plug for F1 errors. Now there's a tool that you can buy for $15 that plugs into there, and it's a toggle switch, or you can just short across those 2 leads right there and get the same outcome. Now there's a little rubber cap on that, and let me see if I can find that rubber cap. There it is. It's got that little rubber cap on it. So you find that plug, remove the rubber cap, short out those 2 leads, and in most cases you would turn on the ignition, but in my case the ignition has been wired around, so I have to insert the main fuse, and I get an error of C42. Okay, after doing some research, I find out that a C42 error is in conjunction with the anti-theft system. Evidently there's a 100 ohm resistor inside the ignition switch, and if it senses somebody's hardwiring or wiring around the ignition, as I have done, it won't start. It gives you that F1 error. So right now, my Bergman thinks I'm trying to steal it. Now I could go to Radio Shack and get a 100 ohm resistor and put that 100 ohm resistor in one of my little jumpers down there and try it then. But I think that rubber cover back on there. I think that the ignition, the key switch, is my problem. So, these Smyrna Cowboys sent me a link to OEM parts sales, and that assembly right there is $197. Okay? Now, this key also locks and unlocks the glove box. And of course, there's that key mechanism. And that key also fits the gas cap. You know, because somebody might want to steal your 3 gallons of gas that's in there. Anyway, for about think it was $280, you can get this whole assembly, this assembly, and a new gas cap. Therein lies the question. Is it worth $80 to only carry one key? Inquiring minds want to know. You know, a person could, with the trunk the way it is, leave the extra key inside underneath the seat or something of that nature, which would be a pain if you were on the road and you had luggage on the seat. Couldn't open it real easy. But I reckon if you were on the road, you could put that key somewhere else than underneath the seat. So that's not a big deal. So I think I've just talked myself into a new ignition. Now, one thing for sure I did read is these bolts. They are a Torx head, but it's a security Torx. The one guy referred to it said you could get those at Harbor Freight. And when I mean security, let's see, get a picture of this one. It's a Torx head, but it's got that little dot right in the middle of it, so your Torx wrench has to have a hole in the middle of it. So it's going to take a trip to Harbor Freight to get a wrench to take that off, and that's that. BC in the barn. We're still down, but we're not out. Over.